Hi, everybody. It is Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come on in, sellers. I have got such a super tip for you. This is sort of like uh, this only happens a couple times a year. I'm going to call it an eBay seller trifecta, and I'm going to explain to you what I mean by that. But it is a perfect time of year for some inventory sourcing, and I will explain it. And I'm bringing this up about inventory sourcing and about this special time of year and about this trifecta for eBay sellers, because a question that I get a lot of times from sellers is, Kathy, I want to scale my selling. I want to grow my selling. Hi, Sharon, how are you? I want to increase my inventory. And that could be I want to increase the depth of my inventory, like in a certain category, I want to go deeper, or I want to expand the range of my inventory. I want a bigger range. Hi, Ladoris. Or I want to sell inventory that's going to convert faster. And I especially get that from my sellers that have a lot of long tail, my collectible sellers, my unique one of a kind sellers, because typically unique, collectible, one of a kind items, you really have to allow a year, 2 years. Hi, Vicki. 3 years for collectible, unique items to sell. Now, they might sell right away. It's sort of like the perfect storm, which is you list the highly collectible eBay blue t-shirt, and Sharon, who's an avid eBay blue t-shirt collector, just happens to be on the site the minute that you list it and grab it. And it's wonderful when that happens. But typically with collectible, unique, one-of-a-kind items, you really need to allow a year, 2 years for that item to sell. And again, that's always nicer when it sells faster. And there's tips. You can look through my YouTubes. I've got a lot of tips for how to do keywords, particularly for unique collectible items, because that's super important. What I want to talk about today is the trifecta for eBay sellers. And I'm going to date this because it's very much about this time of year. So this is March 29th. And this is what the trifecta is. I've got a hoodie on because it got a little chilly here, but now I'm getting warm. We're coming up on the end of March. So just that's thought number one. We're coming up on the end of the first quarter. Now, if you don't know what that is, the year is broken into quarters. This is for retailers, okay? And businesses are the same way. The end of the first quarter is the end of March, January, February, March. Then the second quarter is going to be April, May, June, then July, August, September, October, November, December. I think most of us as sellers are familiar with the term fourth quarter, but the end of first quarter is also important. So we're coming up on the end of March. That's New York City. We're coming up on the end of the first quarter because March is going to end pretty soon. And we are also coming up on, this is the trifecta, this is the third part, Easter Passover season. Okay. So this is it. If you are not familiar with this, and I learned this from when I did retail, I did merchandising and displays in major brick and mortar retailers in New York City for well over 20 years. I was also in QVC for over 6 years. And one thing I learned from retail is they are, and this is true for all businesses, but if you're not aware of this with retailers, is they are very numbers driven. And if anything, that is increased. So if you're in a brick and mortar retailer, they are tracking the sales by the hour. They are also tracking the sales by the department. And in the retailers that I worked with, they were also tracking it by the salesperson. So they would know, because I've got Sharon with me, they would know Sharon was selling X amount, Ladoris was selling another amount, Vicki was selling another amount. So they track all these numbers. While it is the same thing on websites, they are tracking sales, and eBay will quote this, a certain amount of handbags are selling per minute, a certain amount of cars are selling per minute, whatever. They are extremely aware of numbers. Why does this matter to us as eBay sellers? And we're aware of our numbers too. Of course, we want sales, right? Cha-chings. And we have Seller Hub to show us the data. Is end of March, if retailers, this is true for brick and mortar and online, if they have not hit their numbers, and remember, it's going to be numbers for the entire site or the entire store or the entire chain. It's also going to be numbers by department. So perhaps women's clothing did great, but kids' clothing, not so much. Kids' toys did great. Men's clothing didn't do so much. So they're looking at numbers by store, by chain, also by region. So they'll be looking at Northeast, Southeast, the South, the Midwest, and by department. Again, why does this matter to me as an eBay seller? Because you're going to want to keep your eye out if you are out and about for retailers. So I do walk around New York City. You know, I'm masked. I'm taking all my good precautions. I'm socially distancing, but I'm also going in and out of retailers, observing all the protocols, and look for killer sales at the end of March because they need to meet their numbers. And again, go by several departments because you may not see a really good sale in men's clothing, but oh man, is there a good sale in women's clothing? Or there may not be a very good sale in smaller sizes in women's clothing, but wow, the plus sizes are really marked down, or vice versa. Okay. You'll also have seasonal sale because so winter's really marked down. Okay. So keep an eye out for that. So brick and mortar retailer is the first part of the trifecta. Watch the numbers for the end of March because they need to meet those numbers, and check in more than one department. If you are not going into a brick and mortar retailer, you're not comfortable going into a brick and mortar retailer, or you don't have really a lot of honking today, a lot of good brick and mortar retailers around you. Here in New York City, obviously I have a lot, is go online. They're all online. Everybody's online. Everybody's online. Check their sites. I've gotten more than one story from reputable sellers of being on major retailer sites and a killer closeout, almost like a daily deal, or what Macy's used to do called a doorbuster. Sometimes it'll just be for 3 or 4 hours. Sometimes it's just for a certain amount. Like as soon as they sell 50 or 100, that's it. It's over, or 1,000. So go on the major retailer sites. And I encourage you is check categories. Oh, I got a cha-ching. Yeah. Check categories that you're familiar with. So if you're really good at kids' toys, I would go and get on the major sites and look at kids' toys. I was just checking a couple of big retailers. A lot of them have a clearance department, special deals department, feature deals department. So always take coupons. Log in, search around, look. There's always a left navigation bar. There's a right navigation bar. Sometimes there's stuff across the top. Take a look. Sometimes if you sign up for their newsletters, they start sending you coupons. So get on the big sites. So again, and this is another thing. This is one that I learned from an office supply store in my neighborhood, was they had deals in the store that they did not have online. Oop, I'm hitting my microphone. Sorry about that. And they had deals online that they do not have in the store. So you can go into the store and, you know, X is going on. You're like, but go online, check their website. There may be some killer deal or killer opportunity going on that's not in the local store for whatever reason. So again, check your local retailers. It's the end of the month. It's also the end of the quarter. Check more than one category. Go online. Check these big retailers. That was the second part of the trifecta. And actually, this is turning into a 4-part, whatever that's called. The other thing is, while you're online, go on the big sites. So go on eBay, go on Amazon, go on Etsy, but particularly on eBay. I've pulled this off a couple times on Amazon, but particularly on eBay. Whatever category you're familiar with, let's say it's kids' toys. There are some huge sellers on eBay that sell kids' toys. Huge. They're big multi-channel sellers. They're on eBay. They are on Amazon. They are on Walmart, and they probably have their own website too. They're just like every other big retailer. They must move a certain amount of inventory. They must. They have bills to pay. They got people to pay. They need to sell a certain amount of inventory. And again, end of the month, end of the quarter. Go into the categories that you're the most familiar with. You know how to do advanced search on eBay. You know how to use Terrill if you have an eBay store. Look at what is being offered. You can spot the big sellers. You're looking for top rated plus. But when you go and click on their feedback, you'll see they have like gazillion feedback. They're clearly a huge seller, a monster seller, and they're great. They're completely number driven, and they will often discount things so low, like $100 thing will go down to $20 or $15. You can buy it and flip it. Okay. So again, go into categories that you know, you'll expand, but start in categories that you know. It's a great way to source inventory. Find the giant sellers on eBay and look at their product. And you can go in their store. You know how to search in an eBay store. Search by brand, search by type, and you'll go through and some of the stuff you'll go, forget it. But man, you will latch onto some stuff. And when you find those sellers, okay, save them. Take your phone. I do this all the time. Take the phone, screenshot them so you remember who they are, and go and visit them every couple of weeks and see what's going on. But again, it is the end of the month. It is the end of the quarter. They have to move inventory. They must meet numbers. They have bills to pay. Vicky's saying she found 2 eBay sellers at the toy department of Goodwill. I know they were checking their phones. Yes, exactly. And you hear the cha-ching too when you're standing in line. The last one is Easter Passover. Easter Passover is like Christmas. It sells year round. Most major retailers, in fact, all of them, I don't know anybody who stocks Easter year round, but I'm sure there's somebody. I just haven't run into them. They already, I was out at a big brick and mortar today. Already the Easter Passover stuff is really marked down. And for me, when I'm shopping the Easter Passover sales, I'm looking for 75 to 80% off. I want a really good discount. Okay. So look for that stuff because those plush bunnies and the Easter eggs, all of that sells year round. Caution if you are buying food items, which is fine because people do like them. Look at the expiration dates. You cannot sell food online past the expiration date. So more the plush, the bunnies, the eggs, that kind of thing is safer to stick with. Ornaments, people love the Easter ornaments. Okay, Passover, it's going to be the plate that you use at Passover, but look for that because it sells year round. So this is my trifecta. It is the end of the month. It's the end of March. Retailers are slashing prices. We're talking brick and mortar and online. We're talking big websites. We're also talking retailers like eBay. Look for the giant sellers. Okay, it's the end of the month. It's the end of the quarter. Always do this at the end of the quarter. So now it's March. End of June, you're going to be doing the same thing. And if you're with me in my membership group, I'll be reminding you, I'll be going, Sharon, it's the end of second quarter. Go shopping. Okay. So end of the quarters, always, look for really good sales. Look for sellers slashing prices. Again, the big retailers, the big websites, and then also the big sellers that are on the various sites. So end of quarter, end of the month, and Easter Passover because it sells year round. So if somebody wants Easter eggs in the middle of June or July, and sometimes it's craft projects because people go, why is somebody buying Easter in the middle of summer? It's craft projects. It could be a homeschool project about different holidays throughout the year. Also, if you don't know this, and a friend of mine taught me this, military families, if the family member has been deployed, when they come home, whenever that is, June, August, September, they will often celebrate the holiday that they missed with that family member. So the family member comes home and they celebrate Easter, or they celebrate Passover, or they celebrate Christmas. And I thought that was wonderful. I said, I love that. So you're helping the family celebrate that holiday that means so much to them. So you're going to have your great inventory that you have sourced from your local brick and mortar, that you have sourced from online. You're going to have your great Easter Passover. Then you got to list it, right? And you want to list it in a way, because these are desirable items, you want to list it in a way that you're going to get picked up by eBay and Google search. And I've got a tip sheet for you. So you're going to hop over to my website, I love to be selling.com, and you're going to grab this eBay listings that sell. It's completely free. It's over 10 pages. And I show you how to optimize your listings because it's great to have those great Easter eggs, that wonderful dress, that wonderful hat. But without the great keywords, eBay search literally does not know what you're listing. You might have a couple of the keywords, which is good. You want to have as many as possible. The more keywords, the better. You'll do better in eBay search. When you do better in eBay search, typically you're going to get more customers. The item will sell faster. It will also sell for more money. And also good keywords, you get picked up by Google, which you want, because so many shoppers start their search on the internet using Google. So shop the trifecta. Go to my website, I love to be selling.com, and grab eBay listings that sell. Thanks so much, everybody. Bye bye.